Guys, in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to recreate Steal A Brainrot in Roblox Studio. Now, I'm making this video because I got a comment from someone on my last video. I'll put that comment up on screen. Credit to them for the idea for this video. If you guys have any requests for future videos, then do let me know in the comment section. I will try to make them. And yeah, today I'm going to be showing you guys part 1 of making a Steal A Brainrot game. And they specifically asked for the spawning of the characters. So I'm going to be showing you guys how to create the characters spawning and moving along in the game. Now, currently I'm in a new game, and I've got the main Zero Brainrot map, which is the normal Zero Brainrot map with everything in it, but with everything, most of the stuff deleted to this point. And we've got the entire runway with the 2 spawn points and end point. I'm going to name this one spawn area, and this one is going to be the spawn area. And now I'm going to go into the models browser and search up a brainrot. This one we're going to be using TenTenTensorFlow, and I'm going to use mm, let's lots of these look weird. There's lots of people make these themselves, which is actually not that bad. This one here, I'll just use this one. It's fine. And then ton ton and you guys can name this whatever you want. So what basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this here, roughly in the middle. I'm going to put this, that's the end, and spawn area, end area, start area. And now, what we can do is I can name this Ton Ton, and then because over here we've got a little brick called start, and that is underneath this, we can create a script and name it spawner. And then we need the local map script.parent. And then we need to get the start area, local start area equals map.start area, and then local end area equals map.end area. And we also need local start pos start equals map.start, and local end equals map.end. And to be fair, you could probably get rid of this, because we do not need it anymore. We've got these. And then we also need, and I'm going to put this at the very top because that is probably easier to put the services at the top. We're going to get the server storage equals game.server storage. And then we need ton equals map.ton. And apparently it's not searchable. Ton. I'm a bit confused as to why it can't be searched. But the map here is script.parent, and then we're finding ton. It's actually not part of the map. Okay. Workspace.ton. And now, for the starting off, we can put ton.parent into the server storage, and using ton.parent equals server storage. And what this is going to do is, if I press play by going over here to test, and then start test session here, it is currently gone. Because now if I go into technically the server storage won't appear, but it should appear in the player scripts. Yeah, it doesn't appear in here, but server storage, it is in the server storage because I can't see it anymore. Now, what we can do is we can do a while loop using while true do, and then we can wait 5 seconds. then ton done on clone dot parent equals workspace. Well, actually, we need to put this into a variable. Local new ton is that clone, and then new ton dot parent equals workspace. And now we also need a new ton dot position is equal to start dot position. And now what we can, and then over here is the start. So I'm going to test start test session here. And if we have a look, we just wait 5 seconds and it should appear. And there it is. It has spawned, and it is actually looking pretty good. And then it's gonna fall over. So if I select both of these and bring it up slightly, we should not have this problem again. That is the start, so I'm going to test here. 2, 3, 4, 5. And there we go, it spawns nicely. And then another one will spawn on top and fall over. And now what that is the spawning of it, but now but I don't think that's enough. So I want it to move over to end. So what we can do now is we can, but then we've got this in a world true, so it can't animate. So what we can do is we can do it like this. So we can go into the replicated storage and then remote event, initiate movement, and then we can look replicated storage dot initiate movement via the client, and then we can do that to the player, and here game dot players player added net function player, and then fire client to the player. But this is only going to happen for the player, and this can have a problem. But then this is all being run in the server script, so it should be fine. Now, inside the ton, we can create a script, and then this is going to be a problem because we can't do game.replicated storage dot initiate movement dot on client event. We can't do that. So instead, we have to go into the starter GUI, and then up here, also up here, we need to duplicate this, move the bounce. You guys can name this whatever you want. Game.replicated stores dot initiate movement on client on server event. Oh yeah. So now in the starter GUI, in the local script here, game.replicated stores dot initiate movement dot on client event net function. Now we need game.replicated stores dot move the bounce from fire server. And now in this script, the bounce dot on server event get function player, and then script local obj equals script dot parent, and that is going to be the actual ton sahur itself. And then we can do a while loop, while true do. Actually, is we can do an animation function which will run it until it's done. And now we need to do obj colon dot move dot colon move. Is colon move even a thing? No, it's not. And then so instead we can lerp. 1 second. And guys, I've just found the problem. So I'm going to use the lerp, and it turns out you have to do it on the start position. So what I've done is I've used my lerp script. I'll leave a link in the description below to my lerping tutorial. This is the same script that I used there. And basically, up here, the start position, end position, duration, and start time and tick. And then for the run servers, for every heartbeat, this is going to happen. And then start position lerp, and then the duration is 30. Let's have a look at how this turns out. I just tested it to make sure it works, and it does indeed work beautifully. 3, 4, 5, there it is. And as you guys can see, if I go in free cam, it is moving nicely. Except it is shaking a little bit, which is not that good. So I'm going to attempt to fix that. So one idea I have is the script here. Then inside we can go up here, while true. Well, actually, we need to create another script, because otherwise, another script for it, because otherwise this script will break if we use a while true, do. And we have to do this a new script for this, because otherwise it will break the other script due to this running forever. So while true do. Currently, what is the orientation of this? Orientation is 0, 0, 0. So script.parent.orientation equals, and I'm pretty sure this is, so script.parent.orientation, that's a vector 3, yeah, that's fine, equals vector3.new 0, 0, 0, and that is basically, should make it appear upright forever, and this is broken. And there is a very good explanation to this. This is my complete entire game has just frozen. So it didn't hit Shift F5. Yeah, I do know why this is happening. So and I will show you guys why this is happening. I will just skip through to once this is all fixed though. And guys, we're back in. So I'm gonna name this script here movement. So actually lerp. And I'm gonna name this script orientation fix. Now, the reason why this was breaking is because we need a way. Is because this is running forever, and that will break the script the entire game, because you cannot have scripts running forever because of while true. So you have to have wait pauses in between each screen refresh, and to do that, you may think we just do a wait 0.1. But a much easier one, like the wait screen refresh, is wait 0. That simple script, little bit of script there, makes the forces the system to wait for the screen to refresh. And now we load in so much cleaner. Now let's have a look at what stuff we have done. Yes, very nice, and the orientation is perfecto. So now bro, I hate Michael Jackson, bro. Stop doing the moonwalk. Anyway, let's fix that. Um, so currently this is the end, so it's going from this way to that way. So if we turn this round, that should be much better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's have a look. Bro is still moonwalking. Ain't no way, bro. Anyway, orientation 180 now. So now we need to set this to 180, and that will fix it, because this script was changing it. And now if we have a look, yes, it is perfect. At least it's not Michael Jackson anymore. And then of course it's just going a little bit into the ground, and we can see his feet here just going a little bit in. So now we can we can try fix this. So what we need to do for that is we need to grab these two again, and we could probably just bring them up quite high, but I think this should be fine. So now, let's have a look at how this turns out. There it is, and now it's glitching out because it's trying to do these, trying to do the script. So now what we can do instead is we can just undo this, like that. That's basically how you move the character from one end to the other using lerping, and that's quite a good, it's quite a good function. And perhaps we can have a look at changing this guy to something else that can actually animate, because I don't think this guy is going to be animating anytime soon. And yeah, so you guys can do this with other ones as well, like tralala tralala. Okay, tralala tralala. There we go. So that's this guy here. So I'm gonna put this guy right behind it. This is a big one. Damn. Okay, I'm gonna name this Tralalero. Tralalero. There we go. And then inside the lerp and the orientation fits, we need to put this into the Tralalero paste into as well. And then we need to add it to the spawner. So now we need local Tralalero equals workspace dot tralalero, and then tralalero dot parent equals server storage. Then down here, new ton. But now we can randomize it. So we can create a function up here, local function randomize brainrot m n. So this will be minimum or m, and this will be maximum or n. So minimum, maximum, and so we can randomize the brain rot like that. So now local rand int equals math dot random mn. The minimum is 1 and the maximum is 2. So what we can do here is we can find the actually all we do here now is if randint it is equals 1, then return workspace dot ton. Actually, ton. Else, if randint is equals 2, then return tralalero. And that's like a randomized brain rot then. Now down here, randomized and randomized brain rot clone. So this randomized brain rot is going to return the item. It's going to clone it, and then new ton equals dot parent equals. So now here, because we got multiple, we can do Control Shift and R to rename every single variable using new ton, new brain rot. So it's like a cool keybind which is pretty useful. And then we can rename that new brain rot so that it's easier. And then this file client is going to go into a server, a local script, and then back into a server script so that you can do stuff like that. Ooh, that stuff. So the seams here, it is spawning in the middle. Okay, position is not a valid member of model workspace.tralalero. Ah, that is because Tralalero is a model, so you can't have a position like that. It would have to be a mesh. So Tralalero, I can try and go into model, and then we can see if I can mesh it, but I'm not sure. So dot origin dot position, because you can't, because isn't one called position. So Tralalero dot position, yeah, origin isn't one either. So what we have to do is Tralalero dot frame. No. So this problem now is the fact that position is not inside Tralalero. So fruit part. We'd probably just go into mm, so the entire so now here we can do this, and then if the new if the new brain rot is equal to Tralalero, then this means that we got that one. So Tralalero, we can do total brain rot parts equals Tralalero colon get children, and then of course the Tralalero then doesn't work with positions and stuff. So what we can do is, so guys, I've instead chosen to use a mesh instead of a model. This one here is Tralalero Tralala, and inside the spawner we've got Tralalero.parent equals server storage, and then workspace.Tralalero. And now that all of this will work perfectly fine, and I can get rid of brainrot parts. Let's see if this works. So test here and then play. I actually do quite like this new system. It's quite cool. And then it happens over here. So we've got that one, then we've got that one, and it seems we've got two tons in a row. Nice, that one spawned, and there are problems with it. Let's have a look at the um. Let's have a look. So there's nothing here. So the lerpin. Do we have the lerpin? Oh, we don't. We need copy paste into. Let's see if this works. We're gonna run it, and let's see what happens. You actually can't, okay. So we're gonna test here. Let's see. Does the output say anything? No, it does not. Let's see, where is it? Over there. And there we go! Tralala tralala is moving along. Very, very nice. And then we got that one. And that is a nice, simple brain rot randomizing system, and allows it to move along. Very, very nice. And you guys can change this the speed of the spawning as well if you'd like to. It is very easy. So here we need the weight 2, and then up here we can have. As I was going to say, we'd make this a lot slower. That's in the lerp script. So what we can do is we can go into the replicated storage and then module script lerp data, and then here we can rename this to data, and then we can have we don't and for module script you don't need to type in local to define a table. You can do anything in the module script, to be fair. I'm gonna put in spawn rate equals 2, and then we can have lerp speed, lerp duration, and currently it's set to 30, that's the speed. If you increase it, the speed will decrease. So we're going to set this to 45, and we're going to see how that works. Now, we need to change the lerp scripts. So let's start with the first one. This one here, we're going to have a require. So local date lerp data equals require gain.replicator stores dot lerp data, and now duration is going to be lerp data dot um dot duration lerp duration, and now down here, if I can see it here, so that is going to be here. So I can copy this and put it into the next lerp script, and now lerp data dot lerp duration, and then inside the spawner we can have it up here. Lerp data is that, and then down here lerp data dot rate spawn rate. That's very, very nice. We can publish this to Roblox so I can continue this in another video. And then very, very nice. It is now a lot quicker and they're moving a lot slower. So now, because we've got the module script, we can increase the spawn rate to 1, and then we can decrease the duration to 5. That is going to be very, very speedy. They're very, very fast and very fast shots. That's quite cool. That's pretty fast. And then good luck to anyone trying to catch any of these, to be fair. I don't think that's going to be very easy. I'm going to set the alert duration back to 30 because that seems fair. And I think 2.53 is fair for the spawn rate. So let's have a look at the final result for this video. 27 minutes into the video. That's not that bad. That's one of my longest videos. And I wanted to make it this long so you guys can see my thought process going into this. And that is a lot of Trolloleros. There we go. We got Turn. And then maybe in the next video we can have a look at adding more brain rots, and maybe let me know in the comment section if there's any specifics that you want for the next video. That one's going crazy because I touched it. Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna leave this video off here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know if you did. Let me know. Oh, actually, forgot something. Before I end the video. Oh, that is not good. So now, I'm gonna got a little idea. If I click on Tun and then go down to attributes, Brainrot, and then this is going to be a Boolean value. I'm gonna set this to true. Brainrot, Boolean. Now we need this button here, end. We need to add a script. Script.parent.touch connect function hit. If hit equals hit get attribute brainrot equal and then this will automatically default to true. If get attribute brainrot equals true, then hit destroy. Else what we can print the hit object is not a brainrot. Do not destroy. And basically we can see this working very easily. So I'm going to go into alert data and set this to 5 so that it is a lot quicker for me to see the result of this. That is very, very speedy. and then it does not get deleted. Unfortunate. So in the output it's not responding anything. Maybe it's because of the touching of it. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have a look at this. So inside the brain rots, maybe it's inside the lerp script, and then here delete on end equals true, and then down here we can have the brain rots lerp. But actually we don't need that. This is all for the lerp data. So now inside this lerp script we can do lerp wait, and then we can wait a certain amount of time, and we're going to wait the lerp data dot duration lerp duration, and then object and delete destroy, and that is what we're going to do. We're going to copy this, we're going to add it into the next lerp script, wait lerp data dot lerp duration, and then destroy. Let's see, does this break anything? The output currently isn't recording anything. Let's have a look. Brain rot going over. It is deleted. Very, very nice. And then if I head over, it doesn't, it touches it, and then deletes. Very, very nice. And this can be easily customized through the lerp data script. So I can change delete on the end, and then spawn rate. I can change this back to 3, keep this on 3, and I can change this back to 30, because that is fair. And now, I'm going to end the video here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, then let me know, because this video is something that I am trying. It is new, all this brain rot stuff. I'm not really an expert on this stuff. Let me know what you want me to add in the next episode of this series. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.